I was sent 3 free sets of these coins in order to review them. Ethical! This is a box of prop coins from Fantasy Coin LLC, and it costs about $14. Not sure what the shipping is. I got 3 sets for free to test and check over. This is one of them, so let's have a look. So you get 10 copper, 10 silver, and 10 gold in a pack. They've got a pretty good heft, weight, and feel to them. Though obviously the proportions of coin to coin are a bit off for most fantasy worlds. Most fantasy games, it's 1 gold to 10 silver, and God knows there aren't enough copper here to represent the same amount. So, I mean, obviously for practical reasons, you could not do 1 to 10 to 100 and ship that to anybody. It wouldn't be worth it. But that's something to bear in mind if you're buying them to use as props. Proportion-wise, I mean, you've got some idea from my hand, but I have tiny, girlish hands, so let's compare. This is a British 50p piece. This is a British pound coin. This is a British 2p, and this is a British 1p. So as you can see, these fantasy coins are a bit larger. The copper is roughly the size of a 2p coin, and these are much larger than anything else you can see. They're about the size of a £2 coin, I reckon, or a euro coin, for people who know what those look like. Heft-wise, they're not quite as solid and weighty as British coins. They're a little bit more solid and weighted than European coins. I reckon they're roughly comparable to the larger American coins. So that gives you some idea of the weight, heft, thickness, and so on of them. So at $14 a set for 30 coins, and that's pretty much the same. You can get 30 copper, 30 silver, or 30 gold independently if you want. But you know, you're looking at a considerable investment to get a realistic amount of coins to use at the table or something. For LARPers who really want to put their money, time, and effort into their costumes and so on, it's probably more worth it, I would think, whether that's a salon LARP or otherwise. I mean, you open a chest and you see some decent metal coins. That really adds some veracity and feeling. Plus, it gives you a good idea, weight-wise. How much does this wealth that I'm carrying count as? How heavy is it? How unwieldy is it? So it can really give you a much better feeling that you're really into the game. For those who run LARPs in sort of collective groups, it's certainly a good idea, I would think, to take membership dues and so on, and spend some on coins, or allow people to pay in money to buy in-game coins. I see, buy in-game currency. Oh God, microtransactions come to LARP. What a horrible, terrible idea. But yes, to give you some idea of exactly what we're talking about here. Say we're playing D&D 5th ed. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here you are, shopkeep. I would like that shiny new short sword, please. Here you are, Gov. And that gives you some idea of how much you're going to have to be carrying around to buy or account for an adventurer's equipment. So yeah, issues for tabletop, I think, in buying enough. So you do a bunch of different sets on different themes. This set was the fire set, which is all covered in dragon pictures. I also got an Egyptian set of basic coins. And I also got a science fiction set, which are my favourites. I think I like the geometric designs, the kind of circuit boards and stuff. And for a while I was toying with, doing some chits or printable coins or notes or something for Machinations of the Space Princess, and they kind of make me think of what I was thinking of doing there. So each of those all cost the same. The designs are different. The sizes are near enough as makes no odds. So you can buy and mix and match different sets all together and have them be the same values, and that's not going to be an issue for you. It can change things up. Coins from different realms. You think what a barbarian's purse might look like, with coins of all different realms and countries and so on, all crammed in there. Then mixing and matching sets for a bit of extra interest is a good way to reflect that. They do also make a bunch of coins of different shapes and sizes. So there's some triangular ones. They've got some based on feudal Japanese currency, which would be great for doing 5 rings LARP. They do ingots as well. They're talking about doing gemstones and things. So there's all kinds of useful props and different styles and shapes of coins that they already have on the books, and they're constantly running Kickstarters for them. So yeah, there's plenty of options there. So I think these are pretty great. I've gotten a lot more into props than I used to be of late, and I think these are a good idea. I mean, to have a physical representation at the table or in your LARP belt pouch is a good thing. Oh, these are welded together. I hadn't noticed that. Oh, come apart easy. Alright, well that shouldn't be a problem even if it happens to you. Just give them a knock and they start coming apart. No problem. Okay. Panic averted. Well, this is what reviews are for, isn't it? So yeah, I think they do bring something to the table. I mean, even if you can't afford a massive amount of them, you can use them as mementos, you could use them as fate chits. Yeah, there's all sorts of other uses for them, and they're a bit classier than little glass gems and so on that you might otherwise use as tokens. So yeah, I think they're worth it. I think they're worth looking at. I just don't think the one thing that's holding me back is the price. Because to get a decent amount of coinage to fill a coffer or whatever, you're looking at a really, really significant outlay of money. So that's problematic. But if you got the spare cash, definitely I would go for it. Now, what I'd like to see them do, and I know these are made in China, so this should be possible to do. I'd love to see them do some paper money. You can buy ghost money in sort of Chinese shops like Wing Yip and so on at the right time of year. You can get wedges of banknotes, so it shouldn't be that difficult to get those retooled to print fake banknotes for fantasy games, science fiction games, and fictional modern countries and things like that. And that would be considerably cheaper and easier to have at your table. The other possibility I would really like them to look into is plastic coins. Now, there's a few places you can get plastic coins already, but they're just pretty rubbish, unfortunately. So for a company that's already got the contacts to make these, maybe they can get the contacts to make plastic coins. Molds and so on are expensive, but it would be much more affordable for people, and I know it wouldn't feel the same, it wouldn't have the same effect, but it would be much more affordable for people to get plastic coins. And if you got hard plastic, it wouldn't be so bad either, and it would be a lot cheaper. You could get a reasonable amount of coins for your LARP or your tabletop game or whatever much more cheaply if they were plastic. So I'd like to see them do that. The other thing, if I'm talking sort of pie in the sky thinking, these fantasy coins are made to a way better standard than actual coins were made in history. I live not far from a Roman road. I've dug up a few Roman coins in the garden, or when I was a wee lad at school digging in the dirt with a stick, and they were kind of hand struck and clipped and rough around the edges, so it would be lovely to see some kind of rougher, more random coins as well, though I don't know how they would be produced, so it's probably impractical. But yeah, they seem to definitely be expanding what they do. They do the ingots, they're talking about doing the gemstones, they've got all kinds of different sizes and shapes of coins. So yeah, these kind of props, a lot of us gamers are a bit older now, a bit more disposable cash. I think these are a great idea, and if I had a bit more money, I think I'd be buying more. Alright, peace out.